Hello and welcome to the first ever Team Irish MMA fight show. I'm Ryan Jarrell here with none other than the Irish hand grenade himself, Marcus Davis. How you doing today, Marcus?
I'm good, Ryan. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Today we're going to recap the last NEF event show in Lewiston where 3 of our Team Irish fighters competed. And we're also going to look forward to the upcoming NEF event on June the 13th where our very own Ricky Dexter is competing for the Lightweight Amateur Championship. All that and more next. In the last NEF event, NEF 17, on April the 11th, Ricky Dexter beat Zenin Herrera via Kimura, round 1. Marcus, break that down for us and explain how that all played out.
All right. Well, Zenin Herrera actually has quite a bit of experience, more than double the experience in the ring or in the cage than our Ricky Dexter has. But Ricky really took it to him, didn't give him a chance to breathe, backed him up, put him up against the cage. Then Zenin, being more of a grappler, likes to fight on the ground rather than the stand-up exchanges, really tried to take Ricky down to the ground. He successfully got him down a couple of times, but Dex was able to get right back up. Then finally, a scramble happened. There was a little bit of chaos on the ground, and Dex ended up securing what we refer to as a north-south position, and that means basically Dex had Zenin on his back, and Zenin's head was between Dex's legs, and Dex was holding Zenin's arm like this, which is what we refer to as a Kimura arm lock. As he was attacking the Kimura, he actually had his legs crossed in a scissor choke on his neck also, and fell to the side. So at that point, Zenin had to make a choice: either lets go of his arm, which would possibly be arm locked, to try to clear the legs off his throat, or hold on to the arm and get choked out. And so he decided to hold on to the arm, and then when he decided to let the arm go, he just tapped. And that's how the fight ended.
Our very own Caleb Costello won via guillotine choke round 1 in the last event. Explain that, Marcus, and break that down, how that all played out.
Caleb Costello has a pretty deceiving record too. He looks like he's on the back end of things, but I can tell you what, that kid, when he's in the gym, he gives a lot of people a hard time because he's a very awkward style. And he can hit. You look at him and he looks like this, real thin kid that's probably not going to have much to him. But, in his last 2 fights, 2 fights ago, he actually got KO of the year through NEF. He knocked a guy out real bad, and bad enough that when he was up against 3 other fights that had happened, they voted him to be the best KO of that year. And then in his next fight against Wilmore, the fight started, you could see, we didn't know much about Wilmer, but he came out, and just the way he was holding his hands let me know, and the way he was throwing his jab and his kind of movement is that he had a background, and he definitely had done some boxing or something. He looked very sharp as far as his hand, his posture, his stance, and everything went. So, Caleb did a great job. He used his hands to set up his feet, and then as soon as he landed a little kick, he stepped in, cracked him with a right hand. I saw Wilmer's eyes roll back in his head. He slumped on the cage. Caleb jumped on him to go to stop him, and then Wilmer kind of came to and grabbed a hold of Caleb's leg, but exposed his own neck, left his neck out, and Caleb got around the neck and got the guillotine choke and actually put him unconscious with the choke. So he didn't even tap. He rolled over and went sleepy. So, and the next fight, that'll be another test for Caleb.
In the last NEF event, Rick Matthews suffered an unfortunate loss to Matthew Henning via KO round 1. Marcus, take us through that and explain how that all came about. I know Rick's a very tough guy, and I know he's very disappointed about the loss. I'm sure he's going to be coming back stronger than ever. But just run that through for us if you can.
Okay, a little quick background on Rick Matthews. Rick Matthews had his first actual MMA fight at age 43. So, he's one of our older guys, obviously, that's out there still fighting. So, it was just one of those things that comes down to, natural, I want to say gifts versus, versus plan and technique in that Matthew Henning is a really, really tall 155 pounder. He's got to be 6 feet tall, like tall, lean, reach. And Rick Matthews is shorter than I am, so I'm thinking Rick Matthews might be, just under 5'9". So, and what happened is that the fight started, and Henning was just peppering him with his long reach, with his jab, and our plan was to be able to clinch with him and take him down to the ground and get him on the ground where we'd seen Henning get finished before, and that's what we wanted to do because his ground game just wasn't there. But the fight starts standing up, and it starts in two separate areas, two separate corners of the cage. So it's the other guy's job to be able to get here and take the fight down. And Henning did a good job of keeping him at the ends of his punches and caught him with this weird kind of flash knockdown kind of punch. And it was very odd, like you saw it hit and there was a brief pause, and then you kind of saw Rick Matthews lose his balance and he went down, and then Henning went to jump on him and they stopped the fight. So it happens, sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail, and that night Rick Matthews was the nail.
Well, hopefully Rick gets back in the cage soon and gets another win at some point down the line and continues his impressive career at the New England Fight League. So Dex is on quite an impressive run now. On June the 13th, Ricky will be fighting Josh Harvey out of Young's MMA for the lightweight amateur championship. Yep. Explain how you expect that particular fight to go, and how is Dex looking so far in camp?
Dex has had 3 fights as an amateur, and all 3 fights he's stopped all 3 opponents. Actually walked right through them. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing in that it shows how tough and how much Dex is learning in such a short amount of time. The only negative part of that is ring time or cage time. His opponent, though, is very similar. Has only one loss on his record, and it was from a submission, so it happened on the ground. His style is more of the boxer-wrestler style. So Josh Harvey will try to come forward. I kind of think of it like, you would think of it kind of like a bully style, like being a bully. He likes to back guys up. He throws hard punches. He has a big left hook and a big right hand. He likes to back guys against the cage, and he shoots in for the double leg, and then tries to drag guys down to the ground. He'll set up shop basically in their guard. And that's the position where the person that's on their back has their legs wrapped around the person's waist. Josh would be the guy on top, landing strikes. And that's how a lot of his fights go. They look like that. Dex, on the other hand, super cardio. The guy never gets tired. He just go, and he's very well-rounded. So Dex can punch, kick. He'll strike with you all day long. He can hit the ground. He can wrestle now pretty well. That was something that he was missing. But man, I mean, this camp, he's just looked amazing with his wrestling, and also his ground is shot right through, and he just looks great. So I think it's going to be a very tough fight. Definitely on paper, it looks really tough. But I can tell you, the biggest thing for me has been, how do they look in those last couple of weeks? What is it that they're actually going to be taking into that cage? So how you looked 6 weeks before a fight really doesn't matter. How you looked 5 weeks before, how you look that night,
Right.
that's what matters. And right now, Dex looks really, really good. So I see Dex, again, I just don't see, as tough as Josh Harvey is, I just don't see him being able to keep up with the pace that Dexter's going to put out there. And I believe he's going to fold. And Dex will, again, stop another guy. It'll be 4 in a row stoppages, and Dex will be lightweight champ.
How's Caleb looking so far in training camp, and do you expect a similar result in this upcoming fight?
You know, Caleb, early in camp and throughout camp has looked great. You know, he had a bump recently, a little injury. We got a little scared because we thought he might have done something pretty severe to his shoulder. But went to the doctor, got checked out. What's funny is it did get dislocated, but a little adjustment pop went right back in. The doc said, "You're not going to have any problems." And he was in last night and was banging away and working out hard and doing everything. And I asked him how his shoulder felt. He said he felt great. And, you know, when this fight coming up, what I always say to Caleb is that he's just got to be like it's another day in the gym. You know, not worry about that it's a fight and that there's all these people that are watching him and let that get to him. He just got to, if he performs like he does in the gym, he's going to end up just walking through Mike. If he touches Crispo on the chin with his right hand, and I know it's funny to say that you look at the guy and you wouldn't think so, but man, he touches you on the chin with that right hand and your eyes are rolling back in your head and you're going to sleep. So again, you know, obviously I'm biased here, but I've watched Crispo's style. He's not a ground fighter at all. He's more of a karate, more of a traditional stylist as far as his striking goes. And Caleb is very awkward. It's hard to get his timing down and hard to catch him standing up. So I think Caleb's going to have another finish again.
Well, hopefully Caleb continues his impressive performance as of late and brings another W home for Team Irish. I'm here with Caleb Costello, who's coming off an exciting first-round finish at NEF 17. Thanks for coming today, Caleb.
Thank you for having me.
How is your training camp going for this particular camp, and should the fans be looking for another exciting finish out of Caleb Costello?
Training camp has been going really well. We've all been working really hard, trying to find holes in our own game and trying to take it to that next level. I feel really good, you know, with my conditioning, with my strengths, and also making sure that my weaknesses improve as well. And yeah, I can't wait to get back in there. Absolutely.
What do you know about your opponent, Mike Crispo's style, and what type of fight do you expect this to be?
I know Mike Crispo, he's definitely a stand-up fighter, so this fight is probably going to be standing for the majority. And he's very long with his strikes, like with his punches and his kicks and everything. So I expect that that's the way he's going to continue to fight, unless he tries to, you know, try something different. But yeah, I've been looking a lot at his past fights, and you know, he definitely comes from, you know, a Muay Thai background. You know, he likes those round kicks, those long kicks, and keeping his opponent at bay. You know, trying to utilize it. So I'm just gonna have to, you know, make sure to stay really tight and try to get in there, you know, get in the pocket, or, you know, make sure I'm completely away from him.
Sounds like a good game plan.
Nice.
How has training at Team Irish helped your skill set evolve, and how many fights should we expect you to take throughout the remainder of 2015?
I would love to fight as much as I could this year. Training at Team Irish, like, you're really evolving every day. I mean, you're getting, you know, amazing people in here, and they're just pushing you. They're trying to make you better, and you're trying to make them better. And for every person that helps you, you are helping, you know, everybody else. So, you know, learning, you know, from wrestling to, you know, Muay Thai, Choshindo, you know, it gives you a great, well-rounded game to have for when you are in the cage.
Caleb Costello getting ready for his 6th amateur fight at NEF 18 on June 13th. Thank you for coming in, Caleb.
Thanks for having me.
I'm here with Ricky Dexter, who in just a couple of short weeks will be competing against Josh Harvey of Young's MMA for the New England Fight League Lightweight Amateur Championship. Dex, you've been training now for about 2.5 years, and you're already having a title shot. Are you surprised that you're at this point so soon into your career?
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised. I definitely did not expect to be fighting for a title shot this soon. This being the first amateur title fight, it's definitely exciting and an honor.
Run us through your day-to-day training and try and help our viewers understand the hard work that you've put through to get yourself to this point.
A typical day of training would be, conditioning in the morning through circuit training. Then at night, typically it would be technique, working on my, grappling, jiu-jitsu, striking, whatever.
What is it like to have someone like Marcus Davis at your disposal, and how has he helped your skill set evolve to the point where it's at now?
Having someone like Marcus, who's experienced, and he's been there, he's done it, he's been at the highest level, definitely gives you that extra confidence, to have somebody in your corner, like Marcus Davis.
Yeah, doesn't get much better than Marcus in MMA, especially in the New England area. I know you don't like to talk trash about your opponent, so I'm not going to ask you to do that, but give us a little prediction on how you see this fight going.
When I envision this fight, whether it be if it ends up on the ground, we stay standing toe-to-toe, I'm envisioning myself always coming out on top, finishing the fight.
You heard it here first. Dex is looking for his fourth amateur victory on June 13th in Lewiston, and he's going to bring home the NEF amateur lightweight belt to Team Irish. Thank you for coming in, Dex.
Thank you.
Also coming up on June 13th, Jeremy Tyler is fighting Johnny Crafts at 145 pounds. Marcus, this is an interesting fight. Johnny is actually coming up from 135. Explain how you expect this to break down.
Johnny Crafts, very skilled sport jiu-jitsu practitioner, tons of experience in that area of martial arts. Really, really tricky guard game for MMA too. Crafts, being the #1 ranked 135 pounder, was fighting for their title, the NEF title, but the fight got scrapped and they needed an opponent. They asked me and I said, well, I have Jeremy Tyler that'll fight him, but it has to be at 145, not 135. Jeremy can't make 135, and they actually agreed to it. So I look at it like this. If Jeremy goes out there and fights Johnny Crafts and fights him with jiu-jitsu, he's gonna lose. You're not gonna beat a guy that's totally a jiu-jitsu guy at jiu-jitsu if that's what he does and he's better at it than you.
Got to fight your style.
Right, but if, and here's the thing, you got 5 ranges of fighting. You got what we refer to as kicking range, leg to the head or leg to the body, punching range, arms reach, then what we call trapping range, which would be elbow or knee distance, grappling range, which is the chest to chest area standing up, and then the ground fighting range. So we want to stay out of the grappling chest to chest range and the ground fighting range. If we get here and we're chest to chest, we want to shut down any takedowns. But here's the good thing is that if Jeremy keeps it at kicking range, he'll kill him. If he keeps it at punching range, he'll kill him too. And being there in that trapping range, which is if I was to just grab you and able to throw knees, he's still going to get him there, but now he's taking a little bit of a chance because that's where trips and stuff can happen, and Crafts is good at that stuff. He's good at the little trips and stuff in the takedowns and everything. So, again, this is your classic matchup, striker versus grappler, and it's going to be a really, really tough fight for Jeremy. And Jeremy, that's what he asks for all the time. He always wants really tough fights. And he's got it. He's got one coming up. And obviously, again, I'm going to be biased, but if Jeremy Tyler can keep this fight standing, there's no way that Crafts wins this fight standing. It's just no way. So, not unless if they let him carry a bat in or get help or something, then yeah. But other than that, standing up, Jeremy Tyler wins this fight. And if it takes place inside the guard, it's going to be a really tough fight for Jeremy.
That's going to do it for us today here from the Team Irish Gym in Brewer, Maine. We'll be coming to you next time from the NESCOM studios at Husson University. Thank you for joining us. For Marcus Davis, I'm Ryan Jarrell. See you next time.